أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Let's continue our lesson. Now more rules are given. وَلَا تَكُونُوا, and don't become like who? كَالَّذِينَ خَرَجُوا مِنْ دِيَارِهِمْ. Do not be like those people who came forth from their homes. Who are these people? The mushrikeen. How did they leave their homes? بَطَرًا, insolently. They left their homes with, first of all, batar. And secondly, وَرِئَاءَ النَّاسِ, and to be seen by people, just to show off before people. And then thirdly, وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and also to stop people from the way of Allah. These were their objectives. This is the way in which they came out of their homes to fight against the Muslims. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us over here, don't be like them. Don't imitate them. Don't do what they did. What did these people do? The mushrikeen army, when they left Mecca, they left in a state of batar. What does batar mean? Batar is from the root letters ba, ta, ra. And batar is a level above farh. What does farh mean? To be happy. And remember, one is the farhul qalb and the other is farhul nafs. Right? One is that you're happy at heart and you're grateful. And the other is that you become so happy that you begin showing off, and the happiness is, it's visible on the person, and he begins showing off and he begins to take credit for himself. And batar is above that. It's beyond that. So what is batar? This is when a person is so happy in his state that he begins to become very proud and boastful. He becomes very proud and boastful. And his pride is obvious. It can be seen. It can be seen. So when a person is boasting, he's arrogant, he's proud, he's showing off his blessings, he's misusing the blessings, and at the same time there's also ingratitude. So it's kibr, it's arrogance, and at the same time it's thinking too high of oneself. Now when the mushrikeen of Mecca, when they left Mecca, they left with a lot of pride. That there's so many of us, and we've taken so much of our resources. We have taken the best of our leaders. They left with this arrogance, this pride. Best of their leaders went. And it said that Abu Jahl would go to different leaders and make sure that they would come. And if anybody would not come, he would say very derogatory remarks to them, that this person is staying at home just like a woman, or things like that. So he would say that so that people would come and participate in the battle with him. They would also go to fight the Muslims. So don't be like these people who leave their homes with batar. They have accumulated all of their wealth and they're taking it with them. Huge numbers of people, many animals, with their dancing girls and their musical instruments. Why? As if they're going on a circus. But they were in reality going for a battle. So, oh believers, when you're going to fight the enemy, don't do it like this. That you're leaving your house, you're leaving your city, you're leaving your country with a whole procession, and you're going with a lot of pride over what you have, and at the same time, وَرِئَاءَ النَّاسِ, and showing off to the people. So all of this the mushrikeen did. Why? In order to show off to the people. Which people? The Arabs in the surrounding areas. To establish their fear in their hearts. وَرِئَاءَ النَّاسِ, and to show off to the people. And also, وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, and as a result, what are they doing? Stopping people from the way of Allah. وَاللَّهُ بِمَا يَعْمَلُونَ مُحِيطٌ, and Allah is with whatever they're doing. He is muhit. He encompasses whatever they're doing. So we learn over here that the believers should avoid imitating the behavior of the disbelievers. The believers, they should avoid imitating the behavior of the disbelievers. When the army of Quraysh, they left Makkah, they had with them singing girls, dancing girls, musical instruments, alcohol. And when Abu Jahl was told that the caravan has escaped safely and that the mushrikeen should return to Makkah, what did he say? That no, by Allah, we will not go back. We're not going back until we proceed to the well of Badr. And we slaughter camels over there. And we drink alcohol. And female singers sing to us. Why did he want to do all of this? This way, the Arabs will always talk about our stance and what we did on that day. Meaning this day will become a part of history. That the Quraysh spent so much money They spent so much resources. They had a big event over here. This will become a part of history. And what happened? It did become a part of history. But all of this went against Abu Jahl and his people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the believers, don't do what they did. Leaving their houses in pride, in arrogance, and just to show off before people. Just to show off before people. And sometimes you see that at weddings even. What happens? When the girl is leaving the house, sometimes people will come and show each and every garment, each and every piece of thing that has been stitched for the girl. All her clothes will be displayed. All of the stuff that she's taking with her, even the jewelry that she's taking with her will be displayed. This is batar and this is ri'a al-nas. I was amazed. Once I went to a wedding and I couldn't understand why bags and bags were brought. And then each bag was opened up and all the clothes were shown. And even the jewelry was displayed. Even the bed sheets. I was like, poor girl. Her closet is being shown to every person. And what's the objective? This is batar. Just showing off to the people that look, we have so much. We've given so much to the girl. The girl is taking so much money to her husband's house. Or that the husband's mother gave so much to the girl. Ri'a al-nas, showing off to the people. And the poor people, the family members who cannot afford that much, they're just sitting there with greed in their eyes or with sadness in their eyes that I wish I had something like that too. I wish I could give something to my daughter. Something similar like that as well. People are just looking. This is ri'a al-nas. So we are being told not to imitate the disbelievers. What do we say? This is a part of our culture. But where did this come from in our culture? From disbelievers. From disbelievers. What are we being told? Don't be like them. Don't become like them. Don't imitate them. And also you see the mushrikeen, they had brought with them dancing girls, musical instruments, and also haram food. And sometimes at our weddings, music is a must. Dancing is a must. And if we say, if we're not going to do this, then people are not going to remember our wedding. We have to show to the people that we threw a huge wedding party. And how's that going to be done? With perhaps a concert at the wedding, a musical group that's up at the stage, playing music, dancing to the music, singing to the music, and everybody else along with them is also doing the same. So that this wedding is a memorable one, just like Abu Jahl said, this day is a memorable one, that we spent so much money, we had so much fun. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, don't become like them. وَإِذْ زَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَعْمَالَهُم. And remember when shaitan made their deeds pleasing to them. Shaitan, Iblis. Over here, Iblis, literally, he made their deeds pleasing to them. Beautiful to them. Zayyana is from the root letter Zayyanun, zina. What does zina mean? Beauty. And zayyana is to adorn something. So shaitan beautified their deeds to them. Which deeds? Which deeds? Which have you mentioned over here? Of batar, of ri'a al-nas, of being wasteful in spending the money, in entertaining themselves, in going against the Muslims in order to harm them. So all of these deeds were beautified by shaitan. وَإِذْ زَيَّنَ لَهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ أَعْمَالَهُم. وَقَالَ, and he said, meaning Iblis said to them, that لَا غَالِبَ لَكُمُ الْيَوْمِ, today no one is going to overpower you. Ghalib is one who overpowers. No one is going to be victorious over you today, this day. Why? Because you are the strongest. Look, you are sacrificing, you are slaughtering 9 to 10 camels daily just to feed your people. You're so victorious. You're so powerful. You have so much. No one can ever defeat you today. Because you have everything that you need in order to be successful. لَا غَالِبَ لَكُمُ الْيَوْمَ مِنَ النَّاسِ. And on top of that, وَإِنِّي جَارٌ لَكُمْ. And indeed, I am a neighbor to you. Jar is from the root letters Jim, Waw, Ra. Jiwar, Jawr. What does it mean? To be a neighbor. And Jar is a neighbor. Jaril Jambi. Remember? The neighbor on the side. Okay? So, وَإِنِّي جَارٌ لَكُمْ. I am a neighbor to you. And Jar is also figuratively used for a supporter. A helper. Because the neighbor is meant to help you. Support you. So I am going to support you. Now what is this referring to? We learned that the mushrikeen of Makkah, before leaving Makkah, they got together in Darun Nadwa to plan their departure and to plan what they were going to do. And Iblis, he came to that gathering in the form of Suraqah ibn Malik. Who was Suraqah? He was the chief of the tribe of Banu Bakr. He was the chief of who? The tribe of Banu Bakr. So Iblis came in his form, Suraqah. And he said to them that none can defeat you today, and I am your neighbor. He didn't live in Makkah, outside of Makkah. I am your neighbor, I'm right by your side, and I'm going to bring my people with you. And when you are so numerous and so powerful, these Muslims, how can they ever defeat you? So in other words, Iblis came to encourage the mushrikeen to go and fight the Muslims. Constantly he was encouraging them. So he came to accompany them. And he said, no one can defeat you. And on top of that, I'm your neighbor. I'm your supporter. I'm here to give you all my support. But this was Iblis. And who is he? A great liar. A great deceiver. So he also deceived the mushrikeen of Makkah. How? فَلَمَّا, then when تَرَاءَتِ الْفِئَتَانِ, when the two groups sighted one another. تَرَاءَت is from the root letters Ra, Hamza, Ya, Ra'i, which means to see. Tara'i is to face one another and to be close to one another. It is basically when two are so close to one another that they can see each other. So when both the armies sighted one another, when the Muslims sighted the mushrikeen and the mushrikeen sighted the Muslims, then what happened? What did Iblis do? نَكَصَ عَلَىٰ عَقِبَيْهِ, he turned back upon his heels. Nakasa is from the root letters Noon, Kaf, Sad. And it is to turn away from some work that one was about to do. Just imagine you're about to do something. You're about to enter the room. Nakasa is to withdraw, to turn away. And generally the word nakasa is used for turning away from doing something that's good. That you're about to do something good, and then all of a sudden, you change your mind and you leave. You stop. You don't do it anymore. So, he was about to help the mushrikeen, and it was good for the mushrikeen. Obviously, in reality it wasn't good, but it was good for the mushrikeen. But what did he do? He withdrew. He turned away. عَلَىٰ عَقِبَيْهِ, upon his two heels. And what does this mean? That he turned away from there, escaping. Running for his life. Why did he do that? وَقَالَ, and he said, إِنِّي بَرِيءٌ مِّنْكُمْ, I am absolved of you. I have nothing to do with you. Inni ara, indeed I see, ma la tarawna, what you don't see. What is it that Iblis saw? The angels. Jibreel and his companions. And when he saw that Jibreel was sent, and so many angels were sent, he was worried. He got scared. And he ran away. Inni ara ma la tarawna, I see what you don't see. Inni akhafu Allah, indeed I fear Allah. Wallahu shadidul iqab, and Allah is severe in retribution. Look at the words of Iblis. I fear Allah. Is it enough to say I fear Allah then? No. If the fear does not change a person, if the fear does not change a person's actions, that fear is not sufficient. That fear is not sufficient. For ibadah, what is needed? Fear as well as love, as well as hope. All three are necessary. If a person only says, yes, I fear Allah, it's not sufficient. If a person claims, I love Allah, even that is not sufficient. If a person only says, I have a lot of hope, even that is not sufficient. All three are necessary. Hope, fear, and love. Iblis said, I fear Allah. And Allah is severe in retribution. So if I come and fight over here against the Muslims, I know that I'll be punished really badly. And I don't want to be punished like that. So he left them. He left the mushrikeen. He came to them, encouraging them, go and fight the Muslims, I am with you. And when the time came to fight, he left them. And this is what shaitan does. He tells a person, disobey Allah. Disobey Allah. Go ahead and disobey Allah. And when a person has obeyed shaitan, then shaitan abandons him. What do we learn? In Surah Al-Nisa, ayah 120, that يَعِدُهُمْ وَيُمَنِّيهِمْ. Shaitan makes promises to them, and he arouses in them false desires, false hopes. وَمَا يَعِدُهُمُ الشَّيْطَانُ إِلَّا غُرُورًا. And shaitan's promises are nothing but deception. Nothing but deception, because he doesn't help you at the time when you need his help. And this is something that shaitan will do to people on the Day of Judgment as well, that he will abandon them. In Surah Ibrahim, ayah 22, it is mentioned, وَقَالَ الشَّيْطَانُ, and shaitan will say, لَمَّا قُضِيَ الْأَمْرُ, when the matter has been concluded. Meaning when the people of Jannah are in Jannah, and the people of Hellfire are in Hellfire. What will shaitan say? That إِنَّ اللَّهَ وَعَدَكُمْ وَعْدَ الْحَقِّ, that indeed Allah had promised you the promise of truth. What? That there is Jannah and there is Nar, and you will end up in either one of them. وَوَعَدْتُكُمْ فَأَخْلَفْتُكُمْ, and I also promised you, but I betrayed you. I also promised you, but I betrayed you. So, is he blameworthy then? What will he say? وَمَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُمْ مِنْ سُلْطَانٍ, don't blame me, because I had no authority over you. I had no authority over you. I had no sultan over you, except that I just invited you. إِلَّا أَن دَعُوتُكُمْ, I only invited you to do sin. فَاسْتَجَبْتُمْ لِي, then you responded to me. I never forced you. I only told you. I only suggested. I only encouraged. So today you cannot put the blame on me. فَلَا تَلُومُونِي وَلُومُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, don't blame me, but rather blame yourselves. مَا أَنَا بِمُصْرِخِكُمْ وَمَا أَنْتُمْ بِمُصْرِخِيَّ, I cannot respond to you. I cannot be called to your aid, and you cannot be called to my aid. We cannot help one another today. So, on the Day of Judgment, shaitan will completely abandon those people who obeyed him. And in this dunya also, he abandoned the mushrikeen who followed him. This is what shaitan does. He encourages us to do something wrong, to disobey Allah. And when we're in the problem, then he leaves us. إِذْ يَقُولُ الْمُنَافِقُونَ, when the hypocrites were saying, who else was saying along with the hypocrites? وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ, and those people in whose hearts is a disease. Who are the hypocrites? Who are the hypocrites over here? Because remember I mentioned to you that the munafiqun, they emerged when? At the battle of Uhud. Up until then, people were concealed. So who are these munafiqun? Munafiqun over here refers to those people who later proved to be munafiqun. Who later proved to be munafiqun. At this point, their nifaq was not obvious. Their nifaq was not evident. Later on, it became evident. Later on, it became obvious. Others have said that munafiqun over here refers to those people who had become Muslim, but they had not migrated from Makkah to Medina. They had not migrated from where? From Makkah to Medina. And when Abu Jahl came to fight against the Muslims, he brought these people with him. Do you understand? He brought these people with him. And these people, when they came and they saw the Muslims, that there are only a few in number, and here are the mushrikeen, so many in number, they started saying negative things about the Muslims. It was obvious that they did not have strong iman, or their iman was not proper. It was only a pretense of iman. There wasn't actually iman inside. So, the hypocrites, they said, and along with them, who else said? وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ, and those people in whose hearts is a disease. Who are these people? Those who have weak iman, lack of iman, doubt about iman. Others have said that وَالَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ مَرَضٌ, it refers to the Yahud of Medina. The Yahud of Medina. Because remember, there are different types of diseases, right? One disease of the heart is of shak, of doubt. Another is of shahawat. What are they? Desires. So in their hearts is also a disease. And what is that disease? Of desire. Desire of what? Of glory, of prestige, because of which they were not willing to give up their religion. They were not willing to accept the prophethood of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So these people, they said, غَرَّ هَؤُلَاءِ دِينُهُمْ. These people, meaning the Muslims, their religion has deceived them. غَرَّ, it has deceived them. It has deluded them. It has made them crazy. Just look at them. That they're so few in number, and they think that they can fight against the mushrikeen. Their religion has completely messed them up. It has made them crazy. They cannot even think straight. They cannot understand this fact which is so logical, that if you are 300 and your enemy is 1,000, you cannot overcome your enemy. They said, غَرَّ هَؤُلَاءِ دِينُهُمْ. Their religion has completely deluded them. But what does Allah say? وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Whoever trusts upon Allah, فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. Then Allah is mighty and He's also wise. Meaning, whoever trusts upon Allah, then Allah will enable him to be successful. Because Allah is mighty. And Allah is wise in the way that He aids him as well. What is mentioned in this ayah, that when the believers, when they're put in a difficult situation by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a situation that may seem to be very challenging, very impossible, other people begin talking. Especially those who have weak faith. Especially those who have weak faith. And they say that these people have been deceived by their religion. These people have been deceived by their religion. Like for example, if a woman starts to wear hijab, people say that you think if you're wearing hijab you're very intelligent? You think you're very smart? What are you trying to prove? You're very righteous? You're very pious? What do you think of yourself? Somebody actually said this to me. When I started wearing hijab, somebody said this to me, you think if you start wearing hijab you'll become very righteous? You're very intelligent compared to this girl who's not wearing the hijab? I'm like, I never said that. I never said that. Nor am I trying to prove that. Nor am I trying to show that in any way. I'm just doing what Allah has commanded me to do. Simple. So, when a person begins to follow the deen, when a person begins to become serious about the deen, or for example, he's put in a difficult situation, other people say, this person has been deceived by his religion. He's not thinking straight anymore. He's not being realistic. He cannot understand the reality of things. This is what people think, because in their eyes, what is greater, the dunya or the deen? The dunya. So they judge everything according to the dunya. وَلَوْ تَرَى. And if only you could see, إِذْ يَتَوَفَّى الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا الْمَلَائِكَةُ. When the angels were taking the souls of those who disbelieved. In the battlefield, if only you could see how the disbelievers' souls were being taken by the angels. How? In what way? In what manner? يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهَهُمْ وَأَدْبَارَهُمْ. The angels were striking their faces as well as their backs. In the battlefield. And they were saying, وَذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْحَرِيقِ. And taste the punishment of the blazing fire. What does it show? That the angels, they're the ones who beat up the people, the disbelievers. They took their souls and immediately they were entered where? Into the punishment of fire, adab al-hariq. What does it show to us? About the evidence for punishment and reward where? In the barzakh. Because remember, when a person dies, then where is he? Where is his soul? In the barzakh, until the day of judgment. However, a person has lived, whatever result he's going to get in the hereafter, based on that his barzakh is going to be. If he has led a good life and he deserves Jannah at the end, then what's going to happen? He's going to get reward. Even in barzakh. And on the other hand, a person is going to get punishment. So, وَذُوقُوا عَذَابَ الْحَرِيقِ. Taste the punishment of the blazing fire. So in this ayah especially, what is mentioned? What happened at the battle of Badr. That how the souls of the disbelievers were taken. How they were punished even at the time of death. We learned those ahadith in great detail, in which it is mentioned as to how the soul is taken out of the body. A part of that hadith is that when the angel of death attends the disbeliever at the time of death, he comes to him in a terrifying and disgusting shape. Terrifying shape. Saying to him, "Get out, O wicked soul." To fierce hot wind, boiling water, and a shadow of black smoke. And the disbeliever's soul then scatters throughout his body, but the angels retrieve it, just as a needle is retrieved from wet wool. This is how the soul is taken out. يَضْرِبُونَ وُجُوهَهُمْ وَأَدْبَارَهُمْ. Why is this so? ذَلِكَ بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. This is not injustice against you. This is what you have brought upon yourselves. ذَلِكَ بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. This is what your hands have put forth. You brought this upon yourself. This is a result of your own actions. What is it that these people did that resulted in such a severe punishment at the time of death? It was their opposition to the Messenger of Allah. Their opposition to the Messenger of Allah. وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ لَيْسَ بِظَلَّامٍ لِلْعَبِيدِ, and that Allah, He is not at all unjust towards His servants. Notice the word ظَلَّام. Who is ظَلَّام? One who does a lot of dhulm. So when negation is being done, what does it mean? That Allah does not even do a little bit injustice towards His servants. Because now the meaning is going to be opposite, because it's the meaning of negation. He doesn't even do a little bit of injustice towards His servants. So the punishment that has come to you, it is because you deserved it. It was a result of your actions. Allah is not doing any injustice upon you. The Prophet ﷺ said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, O my servants, I have prohibited injustice for myself. I have prohibited injustice for myself. So Allah is not unjust towards His servants at all. And I have made it prohibited to you between each other. Meaning even you are not allowed to do dhulm on one another. Therefore, do not commit injustice against each other. O my servants, it is your deeds that I am keeping count of. Whatever deeds you do, I am keeping a record of that. I am counting all of those. So whoever found something good, let him praise Allah for it. Let him thank Allah for it. And whoever found other than that, then he has only himself to blame. Only himself to blame. ذَلِكَ بِمَا قَدَّمَتْ أَيْدِيكُمْ. It is because of what your hands have put forward. Allah did not punish you for something you never did. Allah is not punishing you for something you don't deserve. Whatever recompense comes your way, it's because you have made yourself worthy of it. It's because you've proven yourself worthy of it. Allah is not at all unjust. And this is what happened to the people of Fir'aun as well. That when they pursued the believers, what happened? What happened? They were destroyed, they were punished. Why? Because they brought that punishment upon themselves. Allah is not unjust.